Hello traders, good morning, good morning. I hope you're all well today and doing good. Welcome to the live Advanced Bookmap webinar. Today we're joined by Joseph, a professional stocks trader. This live session is part of our education here at Bookmap. These are webinars with JTrader. They're held every Wednesday around 10 a.m. Eastern Time. As your usual host Bruce is still away, I'll be covering today. I'll also be helping out tomorrow with Scott as well. Before we jump into the live analysis with JTrader, just a couple of things to cover. First of all, JTrader's contact information. You can find out more about him on his website, Jtraderco. You can also connect with him on Twitter at Jtraderco. And the disclosures here. General disclosure. All Bookmap Ltd materials, information and presentations are for educational purposes only and should not be considered specific investment advice nor recommendations. Live trading is in simulation demo paper trading mode and is strictly for educational purposes. Live trading executed in simulation cannot accurately represent realistic trading performance. And the risk disclosure. Trading futures, equities and digital currencies involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for all investors. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security nor lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. Okay, Joseph, I'll bring your screen up now. And yep, you're good to go, sir.
All right, thank you, Sam. So good morning, everybody. This is JTrader. So kind of great market to trade both small caps and big caps. Today we had BWV, which is a stock. Over here on the right, I have the stats. So I'm going to bring up the stats 1 second. It's a stock that was gapping up, was the biggest gapper of today. Blue Water Vaccines Inc. We have a very small float, 3.80 million float. So this is the amount of the shares you can buy in the stock market. Very small float, high volume. What can do? Possibly push and squeeze. Low institutional ownership. So this tells us right away that firms, institutions are not really interested in holding the stock long term. We have no news. So over here we had why this was up. Sympathy, okay? So basically all the healthcare were pushing. So we had over here LFLY, ALVR, TIVA. We have also NTRB. So sympathy play. Going back over here to the financials, I checked this to see if the company is healthy or not. So you want to always have a look into this before going. So I start looking at scanners, the news event, which we have done right now. The history of the chart. So we're going to look at the chart. We also look at the order flow to see the main levels of resistance, support, supply, and demand. We're going to look at the key stats, of course, is what I already did. So looking at the float, seeing that they have a small float and a small institutional ownership. Now we're looking financials. Then we're going to look at gap stats. So how many times, for example, faded on gap days? Dilution. So if they are basically a shell company or not. What is a shell company? It's a company that sells paper, okay? Well, it's just like, a way that traders use this name. And analysis over here, we'll prepare the plan and see what we did this morning. So let me tell you that this morning we had first a stop on BWV, and then we had a good setup. The stop was for about 7 cents. The win was for about 40 cents. Key stats, as we said, we have a company that has 18 million float. They have still positive net working capital, so 19 and 2 million, so total current assets and liabilities. They have zero revenues, so basically they don't have any kind of earnings, all right? So no, actually, be more precise, no revenues, no profits, and they have a negative net income. So how they can survive, right? History over here, we check if they had previous gappers. And over here, we had only one gapper that closed below the open, was a 931 fail. I also check traders with dilution tracker if they have offerings. So this is all my pre-market routine. And we can see they have 85 months of cash, but remember 18 million cash, all right? Only because they're losing 200K per month. That's the reason why they have 85 months of cash. They have warrants, pipe warrants at 6.65 of almost 1.2 million. Now going to our stock. We're going to put this over here. So in case we have new gappers coming up during the day. Okay. So this morning we had a big runner pre-market. This came from, went from $2 until 3.80. If you look over here, the order flow, we saw few levels where we had decent amount of buyers stacked. So wall of buyers over here. Then you can see they're moving up. Wall of buyers over here, wall of buyers over here. And then I was looking at the price section just before the open. So I'm gonna put that back up. Okay, over here, you can see really the algo holding, all right? So why I think it's an algo over here? Well, very fast prints, cancel, prints, cancel, prints. So it's moving super fast over here. Generally, this is an algorithm, all right? So just like a bot over here that the market makers use to play. At the gate, we start having a push. And just to show you, the last few days, if you go to check BWV and compare it to, for example, SIDU, FRGT, TKLF. These are three of the gappers that played very similar to BWV. They extended at a certain percentage of extension, generally between 10 and 20% from the gate, given this pattern, and then they tend to top. This, for example, over here was the level that I had this morning, was a 15% level from the open, okay? So this morning we attacked over here short, even with a start and then with size at exactly this level over here. So you can see that the price came to this 390, rejected. This 382, 385 is the level where we shorted. So this is what we call a fake out of the move. So we had a fast rejection, reason to short, even full size. And then we are looking for an unwind until 350, 345. Never came. And in the moment that we enter over here, the first thing you have to do is, one, look at the price section, put immediately a level of stop that could be stop, hard stop loss, or even a mental stop loss. And then also a level of take profit based on your strategy. So something that you need to track, okay? It's not just like you'll put only okay because that is a support, so I'm scaling out over there. We stopped over here at 392. This was a stop alert explained. So exactly when we took the trade over here, members knew exactly what we were going to do. We stopped over here, so between 6 and 8 cents. And then we had this push into this level of resistance. So you can see how Bookmap over here helps. We saw a almost 40,000 over here main seller. we can see that we spike above, right away slam below that $4, all right? So I'm gonna zoom in over here. So we push above, right away below that 4, and we start forming again resistance. You see over here this 4, which is this level over here. And then we are forming the distribution pattern. This is a inside bar that I liked. This was also the 15% level. We start attacking short over here in the 390s, and then main failure to the first target over here, 350s. So this is one of the patterns that, as I said, we are trading the most lately, and it's really paying big. 350 over here, we had, let me put it, okay. 350 over here, we have some support, 358 and then 350. Reason to cover here between 25 and 30%. And now we're holding for the main target, which will be down into the 260, 270 area, all right? So support over here, 319. Let's see if we're gonna break this. Let's also follow the order flow. You see above, we have a huge amount of resistance. No main support right now. Again, no news. We have some bag holders on the stock. But mostly, we are simply having now all the longs trapped on this pump this morning above 380. So basically what it's going to do, it's going to happily unwind. Main sellers over here, 340. These are the favorite patterns. One of the most favorite patterns that we have in the small cap land. I find some support this 319, but you can see over here on Bookmap, we don't have like real buyers. We're gonna follow price action on this as we are still holding this position. We also are looking at Tiva, so we're gonna cover after Tiva. We had earnings, we had Shop, we had GOVX, SIGA, Microsoft, BA. So a lot of earnings plays and also day 2, day 3 overextended plays. Zooming in over here, so that's the moment of the crack. Breakdown over here. If you are in a position traders, just hold the position if you have still that the price action work in your favor. If you don't see buyers, this is an easy fader for now. This 326 that you see on the chart traders is a level of resistance from previous months. Is a level where we traded the day 35 million volume. So you can see that we have right now, we are below that level. So we should find some sellers over here jumping in. Trying to find some support. 320, 326, 327 actually. In the meantime, what we can do, we can look at Tiva. So I'm watching this $9 level where we have a pre-market resistance. So let's see if we can short into this area over here. So let's check Tiva at 9. That would be interesting. We had a shop this morning. Remember, shop had a pretty big push. I'm gonna put this back up. We had some news on shop. So we had earnings. But also it will reduce its employees by 10%. Okay. So we had two news over here on shop today. You can see also the daily chart traders simply only dumping over here, unwinding, unwinding, unwinding. This was shop today. So we're gonna look at the higher time frame. We have a level of resistance over here at 34. And more at this peak over here, 34.60. And then this 35.50. Main seller jumped in when the price was already down here at 34. So we were over here. We had a main seller with 100K at 34.60 over here, exactly into that resistance. We had GOVX, and we are still in this trade. We took this trade exactly over here into the 202. This is an overextended play. It's a 3-day runner. I'm gonna put a 50-minute chart. Sorry, GOVX. So day one over here, day two, day three. This morning we had the trend line break. We went to reject this trend line break. We went also to reject this level of resistance over here between 208 and 209. This area over here of resistance, this yellow line you can see. And then at a certain point, while the price was going up over here around 10 o'clock into the 205, main seller came 206. This, remember, is not SSR. And then started to fail. So this point over here was not SSR. You can look to short, put a stop just at that big seller 205. And then you can simply hold the trade over here. Last we took was SIGA. So we shared this in the room. We short exactly this level of resistance, 1750. It was a previous yesterday resistance. So you can see over here where we had some resistance supply. Came up almost parabolic over here to the 1750, 1760. You can see exhaustion over here. And then seller jumped in. These dots over here, you see the volume dots are gray. This is basically sellers. Okay, these are sellers jumping in over here. So this level push right away came down. Okay, so analyze over here the price section. When you start to see the peak of a move and you start to see these gray over here dots, means we have sellers. Okay, let's go back to BWV. So I have short, no reason to cover. Yes, we bounced on this support. We are below this main resistance. So when I'm in a trade, I'll put the resistance over here, resistance over here. So those are the levels where I see topping of the action, right? So what we can have is this. And if you have a high average, just simply hold over here. We're going to put some trail over here for 50% of the position left at 357, 360. And hold the trade for our main target. curling down. So right now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the level of resistance over here. This is a lower high. Okay, we're gonna keep traders also Tiva over here on watch. And we're gonna look for this level of $9. So if the price will push to $9 to short. So Tiva over here bouncing from the support. This A69 is the main level of support that we have in intraday. I'm going to put over here an hourly chart, show you the levels. Actually, we can put even a daily over here. So what I'm doing, I'm looking point of reversal on my chart. And often I will put these when we have peaks. Okay, so you can see we went to that resistance, rejected. We have resistance over here on Bookmap at 9 and the pre-market high at 910. So I'm looking over here for that main level at 910 traders. 99910. Let's see if we can have a rejection and a short from there. This is the area that I'm waiting. Okay, so I'm waiting for this main area over here for a rejection. GOVX, we're continuing to hold the trade from 2 to 0.2. Now the stop break even. So we had the entry this area, and we can use this heat map over here as a main trail. Meta instead is a swing position from yesterday. Yesterday we got short into the 166, cover into the 159, relonged over here after the fake washout over here for a bounce, looking for a bounce of the market. And we're still holding the position over here. Now going to the 166, target will be 167. So for now, just holding the position over here. Stock is making higher lows, so no reason to cut a position. Let's go back to our small cap BWV. It's for now just a fader. Look over here, the price section. We rejected the 334, 335. Break of the previous low. Looking for the 317 and lower. We have a runner over here looking at the scanner, ALVR, which has a 296 million market cap, 29 million float, institutional ownership, 42%, pretty high cash burning per month. See, I'm looking down here. So they have cash for about 12 months. Check our daily. This is a stock we traded a few weeks ago. This was the highest volume day, 633. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to check an intraday chart to see the main levels of resistance. Our chart would be the best. We can define 680 as a main resistance. So what I'm doing right now, traders, is we're looking to long on dips, but the trend over here seemed already started. It already extended from 4.80 to $6. Or looking a level where I can see a rejection and taking a short. So you can see that the past day, past gap over here, we had an extension and then faded on the same day. All right, so those are the level of resistance that I will put: 680, 750, and 850 over here. We're still far from that resistance that I want, this 680. Also, no long yet. We need to see a dip into the J lines or the VWAP and curl. You can put up in the meantime bookmap over here. This we didn't need anymore. GOBX. So main supply over here into the 650. Low liquidity stock, very low liquidity stock over here. You can see also in bookmap, we have no main buyers or sellers, only some small wall of sellers into the 650. So that's the main catalyst for me on the chart. So we have Tiva with our earnings. Remember, we're waiting for that 9. Shop over here, holding the support 3260. Sideways for now. Microsoft support 262.50. Sabo, we had really bad news this morning. So the stock going all the way down from 22 bucks down to 11. So losing 50% now, bouncing back up slowly. So main level of resistance traders over here is 1720, 1710 on Saba. Let's see if they're going to have a fake out of 17 and then fail. So I'm looking at these levels over here, the pre-market. If you can have this pattern over here. You can look at Saba over here, the reason why it was down this morning. I'm going to put it over here. Stock falls 30%, actually fell more for a maximum of 50% on report of criminal probe. The Department of Justice has launched a criminal probe of the company. A very controversial drug. They have a float of 37 million, SSR, institutional 27%. Yeah, not looking good over here, traders. Not looking good. So I would like to see over here fake out the 17 or rejection 1710 and then unwind. Meanwhile, BWV. So you can see over here the main level of resistance, right? For dollars. We have a fake out, exhaustion, main seller jumping in. So pretty good unwind. We had 7-8 cents stop in the early morning push. And then backside over here, the play. And now it's going to the 315. Saba over here is rejecting that 1698. So this 1692.95, if we have a retest, is our level to short with very tight risk. Okay. Why? Pre-market resistance. Bad news today. We have a main pullback That's our 17 resistance. We're looking at a fill into the 95, 96 with a very tight risk. Still not short. When I see a push over here, fast rejection, that will give us a conviction for a short, okay? So we want this double top to reject. For now, we have one high. We want the second high and reject. So this would be the second high over here. We want to see this. Shorting to the 95, 96. '96 push. We can also put over here the times and sales. Let's wait at the rejection traders. The reason why I want to see that rejection is that often in patterns like this, we um, we see the price simply going and not rejecting. If we have a rejection from 17 or 1698, we have the confirmation that is not going to push. For now, this is still not a short, as I said. We want to see first the rejection, then shorting. That gives us a low risk entry, but that's the level. We're looking at 17 or this pre-market high, 1724. Okay, we went into this top over here. You can see this 98. So looking over here, 96, 97, that's the correct level to short. Risking simply that 17. Over here, you can see the rejection. So 96, 97, all this area here to short, risking the 17, looking for the first target, 16 and 80s, 16 70s, and this support over here. If you break, so if we get to the 17 and starts like chipping out, if we have a stuff, re-enter short. That's how I like to play. So like, for example, today on BWV, same price action. You're looking to short as near as possible to that resistance once the resistance gives you a confirmation, okay? Let's see the price action over here together. You can see they're trying to push it. If they start chipping 17, you have to be super quick to get out because otherwise can push even 10, 15 cents. Over here is rejecting. You see no sellers jumping in for now. A seller over here, very small, 97. See a few hundreds. Now, if we got in 96, 97, as we said, what we can do, we can put the stop 99. So before we go with the 17, risking 2 or 3 cents the most. Yeah, that's the reason why on SSR, McLovin is asking, on SSR, you have to put yourself exactly on the ask. We had a fast wash over here, bought back up. There's some spread over here, and that's it, you see? Reason why we said to cut if we had the 99. This is the previous resistance. So you can see on SSR traders, once you have that resistance over here, they can remove in about seconds and then push it. So you can go back and understand the commentary to short 96, 97. And then I said, once it goes back to 99, use that risk 99 before you have the 17 so that you protect yourself. Now let's see if this will be a mega stuff, comes back down and short, or simply holds the 17 and then push back up. But correct setup to trade into a pre-market resistance on something that faded this morning 50% on very bad news. Meanwhile, Siga gave a great short. So pattern over here, always this pre-market resistance from the previous day. So high supply area, you can see this resistance over here. Nice pattern for a short at 1760. Did you take that, McLovin? That's our Sava. Sava still pushing. So good risk management. No trade over here. Let it go. BWV is the stock that we're still holding, and also GOVX. Straight stair step down pattern. So you can see only shorts. Some over here, I believe, covers our target 260, 270. I was still pushing. LVR, nothing yet. Tiga, nice rejection. You can see over here this breakout 67, push into 74 and fail. BWVR fader. New breakdown coming over here on BWV. So now we can move our trailing that was over here 365 down to 335, down till 325. So half of the trailing now, 325, sorry.
Just a question on that, Joseph.
Mm-hmm.
So you're kind of adjusting your trailing stop there. Would you kind of lean on Bookmap and the liquidity areas as well to position your stop, or do you kind of mainly focus on the structure there? I mean, there is liquidity there too at about 324.
Yeah, good question. So basically, I'm looking for targets based on the system. And I see often when we're fading, the liquidity will be like a magnet area so that the price goes back to those levels. For example, let's say we form over here high liquidity, often will be a magnet area for the price to pull back into those levels. So I use both combination of previous relative highs, generally giving like few cents, like 5-6 cents above, plus the high area of supply that we'll see on the order flow. Vice versa, like this morning over here, we were pushing, and you can see where we topped basically. Yes, this is the whole round, sorry, whole dollar number, $4, but also the main liquidity area. It worked like a magnet. All right. So we went exactly into this area and then rejecting like an over under play over here. And we've seen this over and over and over in this market. For example, SIGA, just look over here, Sam this morning, the price came to a level where we had liquidity. It works like a magnet. So those levels over there, like for example, we were looking on Saba, but it didn't work. We're looking for shorts or vice versa for longs. Almost with a 50% fib level over here. So we should have like some bounce from this BWV $3. And why I said only to cover 50% of the position left at 325? Because we still want to give wiggle room to work. Often these will bounce, will pull back, and then unwind more. So until we see this price action, this volume, this stair step down pattern, sorry, we're going to look for a fader. Okay, 50% fib level over here, 304. Only sellers right now. Only main sellers over here. Look, these dots over here, traders. These are all sellers over here. If you put like the sweep indicator, I believe over here, you will see some sweep. So stop orders over here triggered. Again over here, again over here. And then when you see these massive sell-off, very fast, very fast. And when happens this, every single breakdown that we may have. So that's adds pretty good conviction to your trade short. And we always have, in order to have better a risk reward ratio, to hold as much as possible of our trade for the main targets. And I see often traders that or start shorting, adding, but also scaling out. So by the time, for example, like yesterday on Meta, where we shorted the 166, 165, and it went to 158. By the time it goes 158, if you start scaling out, you will have 5%. So your risk reward ratio will be so much lower versus if you can hold an entire core or the majority of your core position for a main fader. Most important in this market is knowing very good the level where to stop. This is now trigger for 50% of what's left. And then you can use the remaining 50% for the previous high. We have sellers jumping in. You can see over here, just moving down. Go back to Saba over here to see what happened. Or came to 18. So 61% fib level. LVR, nothing yet. SIG after the stuff is still unwinding. Tiva, we are still waiting for that 9. That's a small bounce over here from that 50% fib level at 304. Again, patience on this trade. Over here, traders, you can see SIGA, GOVX, which came into that 210 area. SIGA over here into that 1750. And then over here, we're looking for the gap and extension. We had that gap and extension play on BWV. Now, a little bit more bounce over here from the 50% fib. So we moved the trail from 335 down to 325 for 50%. And then the rest, 50%, we're going to hold until 336, 335 area over here. So last few minutes over here for broadcasting. Sam, do you have any questions or anything else you would like to ask?
Yeah, just really good stuff today, I think, Joseph. Some really nice setups. Great trade on BWV. I think there's some important lessons there. You know, tying in the order flow to add confidence in the move. You know, observing the liquidity being added to the offer, and GovX too. You know, you had your higher time frame trend break. You were looking for the short, and the order flow, you know, provided some precision and confluence to the trade.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
you
First higher time frame, lower, checking the order flow for the timing pattern, and then just like managing the trade until the targets.
Yep, absolutely. You also gave a really in-depth explanation of the kind of the double top play on Sava, which I thought was fascinating. You know, being patient, waiting for the second high to reject, not just jumping in there, and then only then, you know, you become interested. It's probably
An
some.
approach mostly over here of the risk management, being also this SSR. So knowing what SSR can do. So deciding to put your stop 99. And then you can see, we saw over here, once they start first to absorb the 69 and 16.99, and then they broke the 17 over here, instantly pushed for 20 cents. And then after that, big buyers came and extension till 18 almost.
Yep, really good.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we're done, traders, for this week. See you again next Wednesday. Thank you, Sam, for being an amazing host. If you need help, traders, reach out. Thank you, Sam, for today. Thank you, Bookmap. Thank you, traders. Put thumbs up, traders. All this is free for you every single Wednesday. And see you again next week. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Joseph, and thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow, same time.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.